Hey everyone, today we are reading about Echo Lloyd. She was 47 years old, disappeared in Edwards, Missouri. That's in Benton County, and that's her. So, very suspicious situation behind her disappearance. She was having trouble with a neighbor. I guess his name is Josh, and he was always at her house and was always there when she was trying to spend time with her friends, and he just sounded, people said, a little obsessed with her. Um, Now, she lived in a very rural area, so he's not like a neighbor right next door, but he was there a lot. Evidently, he lived in the area. And she moved out to this very rural area so that she could be kind of alone, feeling like she's starting over. It was after a divorce, and she wanted to kind of find a peaceful place to be. And that was why she moved out here. Well, she moves out into this really wilderness. I mean, woods behind her, lots of woods, Lake of the Ozarks. It's beautiful. You know, Missouri is a beautiful state, but very, very, very secluded. And so on Mother's Day, she has a daughter. Her daughter went to her house to drop off a plant. She wasn't there, the car was gone. She left the plant, and then the daughter came back that night, hadn't heard from her, and the plant had been moved into a shed. The car was back, but her mom was nowhere to be seen. She found a way to get into the house, and the house was messy, and it had cigarettes that weren't hers um, around. Now, I'm not sure if this happened when the daughter got in the house that night or if the daughter came back a couple days later and got in the house. That I'm not 100% sure of, but either way, the daughter eventually went into the house, and this is what she found. The house messy. When she says her mom was like a neat freak, she always kept everything neat. Um, Cigarettes that were not hers were on the nightstand. The AC was blasting, which I guess her mom did not do normally. So there were a lot of things that were odd. Mom's gun was missing, her car keys, her cell phone, and her medication. The gun, my understanding, was found in the woods by her house. The car keys, cell phone, and medication, I believe, were found in this Josh, who was kind of, sounds like obsessed with her, in his basement. And the odd thing is, the last time the daughter talked to her mom told her that he was bothering her, always there, showing up, and that she was going to confront him and take back her home. And then she hasn't been seen since. So this happened, goodness, let me see what year this happened. 2020, I believe. 2020. So a few years ago. Nobody's found her. It doesn't sound like, I mean, I guess the police are looking into this neighbor person, but there have been no charges. It's just sitting there. This case is just sitting there. I know the daughter, she has some videos. You can watch her. She's crying. She's begging people to help. She's trying to raise money for a private investigator. It's just really sad. The whole thing is sad. So let's see what the cards have to say about Echo Lloyd and what happened with that situation. We'll start with our usual. Was it foul play, accident, suicide, natural passing, or did she leave on her own? Which are the 5 ways people disappear? So let's just ask about foul play and see what we get there. Echo Lloyd and foul play. It sounds really funny. This is the lost card, and that's the river there. So she did live by the Lake of the Ozarks, lost, and there's water there. Um, I don't know if they've ever done a water search, but I'm going to feel into that loss a little bit more because that's kind of right away taking me towards, well, probably foul play. I mean, the other thing that could fit into that would be an accident by the river or maybe suicide by the river. Tell me more about this being foul play. You know, the fact that she was going to go talk to this person, though, is questionable. So here we have two major arcana cards. I'll point that out right away, the Empress and Strength. And this is somebody literally trying to overpower someone else, which it sounds like she was. She was going back to confront him and tell him, hey, this is my house. You can't just keep coming over here. You can't, she was making it hers as the Empress does. Empress is also out in the woods. I always see that about this card, but this is the mother card. And I do feel like she was the mother and she did tell her daughter that she was going to go confront this person. So it's pointing me in that direction of possibly an issue with that confrontation, trying to overpower this person and take back her home. I mean, that's really what I see here. We're going to ask about him. Now, let me ask more about an accident. Let me ask about an accident. We will go on with the others. Tell me about this being an accident because we did get the sad card. That is very possible that there was an accident involved too, because this often stands for yes, Y-E-S. I take it as those three cups in there. But again, it's pointing me towards water. We had the Five of Cups just a minute ago as the sad card. So I am leaning towards water here and a situation that may involve that water. I'll ask for a little clarification on accidents since we are pointing that direction as well. A little clarification on accident. Tell me more about this being more of an accident. And here is the Four of Swords, which again is, well, it's a card of somebody laying on their coffin. I mean, and it's got a mother and child up here. So there's a lot here that's alluding to her being a mother. There's a mother-child here, and there's this element of passing, potentially from an accident. Potentially from an accident. That's kind of, I've got a little bit of this, sadness over by the water with foul play, but I really feel like I'm being pointed to more of an accident. So let me ask about suicide. Unfortunately, that is something that does happen when people disappear. Suicide. Tell me about this being suicide. Again, I've got Hidden in Water. That's my classic Hidden in Water card. This is the Nine of Cups. I feel like everything here so far is pointing me towards that water by your house, which I believe was Lake of the Ozarks. I would say go look in the water. I think that's what I'm getting confirmed again. And it very well may be confirming that first foul play cup when we got the Three of Cups and now we've got the Nine of Cups. Everything's pointing me back to that water card. I definitely search water around there. I don't know if they have. They're trying to hire a private investigator, like I said, but it doesn't sound like they've saved up much money. All right, so natural passing. I don't think it was a suicide. Natural passing, not from what I can see. Tell me about this being a natural passing. Okay. Well, this is giving me another person, right? A man and a woman. And this again is a major arcana. And we had that, the other major arcanas here in under foul play, telling me she was trying to, shut someone up, basically, which I know she was. She told her daughter that. She was trying to overpower him. Now we have a man entering the scene. I don't think it was a natural passing again either, but I do see them pointing me back to this situation with this man. I do feel like so far a man may have been involved and then left on her own. Really don't think that's the case, but because it's part of What could happen? We will read it. Echo leaving on her own. Again, it's telling me a man was involved. Ace of Wands, that can stand for a man for me. So, didn't leave on her own. I see a man involved. I see water. I see lost by water. Let's flip over to this man because we've got a lot pointing towards him. His name is Josh. The things I know about him. People say he's a druggie. He was obsessed with her. He would show up at her house. Echo herself told her daughter that Josh treated his grandpa and his dog terribly. And all of Echo's missing items were found, not all of them. Gun was found outside, but other missing items were found in Josh's basement. I don't know how you can't say he was not involved at this point. Josh, tell me about Josh's involvement in Echo's disappearance. Josh's involvement in Echo's disappearance. So that is this whole neighbor partnerships. We saw this weird lovers partnership, which these are echoing. And it makes me feel like he probably was. It makes me feel like he was making himself very welcome at her house. Let me feel a little bit more into that. I was told she was not seeing anyone at the time. But I'm going to ask, because I've got the Lovers card and I've got this man popping in, and now I've got this whole Four of Wands, which can be a relationship card. My understanding is she was not in a relationship with Josh. But I'm going to ask, is this Josh or is this somebody else? So tell me about this person, this man I'm seeing being Josh. Let's just narrow it down that way, and then we'll know. There could be another man for all we know. Is this person I'm seeing Josh? Okay, well, put that card there. Or we're going to compare these cards. Is this person someone else? So in tarot, they say you can't ask yes and no cards. I ask them all the time. You just got to compare cards. You know, there's ways you can read to get the results that you want. Someone other than Josh being involved in Echo's disappearance. All right, let's see what we've got here. This is the Josh card. So this is a person going out, leaving things behind, walking out into the night, going out into the dark. We know that she did not do this herself because it doesn't look like a suicide. For Josh, I'm not getting a super foul play card, but I am getting a card that, you know, out by the water. This is a water card, and we had all that water before. We've got the moon here, and even you can see the way the moon is looking at the guy like, I don't know about you. What are you up to back there? So there's an element of, I feel, sort of suspicion around Josh. Let me ask about someone else and see what we get for that. You know, honestly, it might not have been Josh. I know everybody's pointing fingers at Josh, but look at this guy. When I ask for someone else, this is the Seven of Swords. He's my classic. I'm coming to harm. I'm coming to kidnap. I've got bad intentions. At this point, I'm not 100% convinced it was Josh, to be honest with you. When I started this reading, I thought it probably was. But when I compared Josh and this other person, and that it looked like potentially a lover, someone maybe she was actually in a relationship with, you know, it kind of does make me feel like someone else other than Josh may have been involved. This card, too, is a card of intimate partner type thing. I mean, if you think of, and I don't think her ex was involved, so don't go down that road. Not that I think, anyways. Not that's not what I'm saying. Let me put it that way. But if you go back to those Kansas moms that disappeared or murdered, now we know. We got a lot of cards like this, and that's how I knew it was like her ex. This man that I'm seeing may have been involved in a relationship with her at one time, if not at the current time. And I'm not convinced it was Josh. Not convinced it was him. Let me ask how her things ended up in Josh's basement. Tell me about Echo's things, because that's just weird. That's just weird. Josh's things ending up in Echo's basement. This is like, well, it could have been this, it could have been that. I think he was after the pills, to be honest with you. That's what it looks like. Sometimes those pentacles can stand for pills. So it looks like he was kind of fixated on, I'm gonna go get her pills. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like he was after her pills. Let's just ask what happened. What happened here with Echo? What happened? Looks like a man was involved. What happened with Echo? So this person was greedy. They wanted kind of it all. May have been a robbery. Sometimes that Seven of Swords can stand for that, robbery. This is greed, what I see here. Somebody taking sometimes what's not theirs. Will take anything, even a small amount they're happy with. I'm going to ask for a little bit more on that Four of Pentacles. Tell me more about this Four of Pentacles. What happened? What is this? So there's money issues here. Often there's money issues with the Four of Pentacles. So tell me more about what happened here with Echo Lloyd. Okay, well, it was somebody she knew, and we saw that before. Somebody she knew. We've got even the Lover, the Ace of Wands, and the Four of Wands, which makes me think it was somebody she knew intimately. Then we've got this as a friend. So they were either a very good friend or someone she knew intimately. So what's the deal with that, if not this Josh guy? Which it looks like it maybe was somebody else. Let me ask a little bit more about that. So we've got this guy befriending her, acting like her friend. What else happened there with Echo Lloyd? What else happened with her? Yeah, this guy looks kind of fixated on money. He just does. He just does. And I'm being reminded of something I heard, and I'm not sure if this is true, that she went into Dollar General and for some reason couldn't get a transaction to go through or something of that nature that didn't make a whole lot of sense. Just seems like somebody was fixated on either drugs or money, because that's what that card stands for. Let me ask for a card that represents this character that is behind this. Card that represents the person that's behind this. Seems like somebody else was involved. Card that represents the person who was behind this. So this is somebody getting something from someone else. Again, we have that whole, it could be money, could be drugs. I don't know if Echo did any drugs. That did not come across to me, so I don't know. I didn't see that in any of her stuff, but either somebody wanted that or wanted her money for that, or she was involved in that. And I don't think there's anything out there saying she was. When I look at her, she doesn't give me that impression. But I do see here people being rather fixated on maybe something she had. My impression of her is that she didn't have a lot of money, but their money is heavy here. Money is heavy. Money or drugs are heavy here. On what was going on in that situation with her. So let me ask about her current physical state. She's been missing for 4 years. I'm sure people kind of feel like she may not come back at this point. Tell me about, is she alive, walking in a body, or is she passed on in a spirit? alive, walking in a body, or she passed on as a spirit. So remember, we got this with the Kansas moms, and that was somebody very hidden. Um, so that makes you wonder, because I used to always take this card as hidden and probably not found, but now that I got the Kansas moms and they were found, they were just hidden really, really good. Um, so I'm not seeing current physical state. That's telling me probably hidden really, really good. But let me ask again for a kind of breathing in a body versus passed on as a spirit. Sometimes I get cards because I need to know that's the situation. So this is not the greatest card. That again could be like addiction. This card, and we've seen sort of a element of addiction involved in here. I think the person who did this or was involved in this was involved in drugs as well. That's what I get. Um, Again, it seems like somebody she knew in intimately, probably, or very, very well as a friend. I mean, it's the man and the woman being involved in kind of, I think of these things as things people shouldn't be involved in. So I'm not saying she was. I don't know her situation. Someone around her disappearance was. I will tell you that. Probably pretty deeply involved in drugs is what I see. I still don't know if she's alive or passed. I don't have that here, which is strange because if you've watched my readings, you usually get that very clearly. I'm going to take one card for alive, one card for past. Let's do that. Card for Echo Lloyd being alive in a body, walking around breathing on Earth. Yes, I have to be that literal because everybody is alive. You don't ever die, and people on the other side know that, but we don't. And they're like, we're alive? What do you mean? They're always alive. All right, past. Passed on in the spirit world, living as a spirit currently. Not on, I shouldn't say not on Earth, because they are on Earth. They are on Earth too. Yeah, they are. So passed on in spirit form, let's say that. Not in a human body anymore. Okay. All right, so alive, or no, yes, alive. This is alive. Well, that is the Page of Wands, which is, I mean, that's a card for being very alive. Let's see what we got for past. So that's our Three of Swords, and this one is a heavier card than like Page of Wands, meaning wise. This is a heartbreak card. And when I ask if someone's past, this would make me lean towards, if I got this card, and when I asked if they're past, I would lean towards, yeah, they're probably past. So I'll leave that there. I'll just leave that there. I don't have a very as clear an answer as I could have. I'll just put it that way. So let's see where she can be found. Let's ask about that. Where can she be found? Where can Echo be found? Where can Echo Lloyd be found? Again, I feel like she's really hidden pretty good. I just feel like she is. I feel like she's outdoors, and I feel like she's hidden pretty darn good. Probably outdoors. I can't say 100% on that. Let me ask again. Where can she be found? We will ask for a landmark after this. Where can Echo be found? I just feel like that's telling me like down a path. Where can she be found? Okay, this is moved. This is a card that says moved. She's been moved. So I didn't realize that. She was guided away, moved. That's what I'm saying. So that car going back in the driveway may not have been her. Looks like she was moved. Let's ask the closest known known landmark to where she is right now. Closest known landmark to where Echo is. Her body. To where her body is. Closest known landmark to where Echo. I will just say her body, but I'm not saying for sure she's passed. This is the King of Cups. So that is a water card. And we did get alluded to water around. You might want to look at a man who knew her if he has water on his property or by his property. But it sounds like there's an awful lot of water around there. I do feel water pretty strong in here. Let me ask one more time for closest known landmark. There's a king. So this is a king. Is there anything around there with king as a name? I would question that too. Closest known landmark to where Echo can be located. And there's water again. So now that I have two cards focusing on water, there's just an awful lot of water around there, guys. Awful lot of water. It's going to be tough. So let's just ask some advice to searchers because this is going to be a tough one. If it's been 4 years and she's in water, and there's so much water. Advice to searchers. Advice to searchers. Well, this is a man again, the king. So we've got two kings now, and that does tell me a man that she knew probably by his property on water. So who is this man that she knew? I would go back boyfriends. I'm not sure it's the Josh guy, to be honest with you. If it is, that did not come through loud and clear. It sort of pointed to somebody else. I'll be honest. Um, I'm curious about this man that she knew as the king, somebody that I feel like at one point they had feelings for each other because I see that here, or at least one had feelings for the other, maybe the other one didn't. There does seem to be possibly a drug element on his end or a need for money, or on her end maybe a need for money. There's some sort of money situation going on. I also feel addiction is involved in that. Let's ask, will she be found? Will she be found? Echo Lloyd, will she be found? Will Echo Lloyd be found? I feel like she's hidden pretty good. This is my magician card. This is again hidden. But because High Priestess was my hidden card and the Kansas moms were found, I'm just gonna say she's hidden really good. It would not be easy to find her. I'll put it that way. She's hidden very good. Okay, anything else we should know before I wrap this up? Anything else we should know about the Echo Lloyd case? Anything else we should know about Echo Lloyd? There we have this whole pentacle again. It's possible drugs were involved in her passing. It's also sometimes the pentacles could stand for a bullet if she's passed. I'm not saying 100% she is, but because I didn't get a card that said 100% she was. It leaned towards passing, but I have strong she's passed cards, and those didn't come through. I'd look for like a past flame, past someone she was involved with, somebody she knows, a man. He may be on drugs or addicted to drugs. I didn't feel 100% it was this Josh guy, to be honest with you. I don't know. It didn't look for sure like him, so I'm not sure on that one. Kind of felt like possibly somebody else. So it's odd, right? It's odd because it was probably this Josh guy too. Josh guy's very into drugs. Maybe that's kind of what he wanted. I'll just ask, is there anything else that can clear up the confusion with this Josh or the ex friend, boyfriend, whatever that is? Anything else that can clear up that confusion? This person feels a little wounded, I will say, protective. If somebody's acting this way, wounded, protected, doesn't want people searching his property, maybe they'll peek at that person. Very defensive. That's what I'm getting. I actually heard it in my head. Very defensive. This person's very defensive. So whoever's very defensive and very on guard and very like, don't come near here, and had a relationship with her before and was involved with her and may have even partied with her at one point. I don't know that she was into actual drugs, but I feel like this other person was. And may have had this weird, desperate feeling for money, fiending, drugs, that kind of thing. That's a lot of the time that can be what this situation I'm seeing is. That's the person I would look at. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.